Secret locations around the world tourists accidentally found. Historical and secret locations have been discovered all around the world, but it's the story behind how individuals discovered them that are fascinating. How did 4 French teenagers discover the Lascaux cave in France while wandering through the woods? Who discovered the Turkish underground city, for example? Keep an eye on the film to learn how these and other hidden spots were discovered. Petra, Jordan. Petra, Jordan's most visited tourist attraction, is thought to have been founded approximately 300 BC as the capital of the Arab Nabateans. The city's rock-cut architecture and water conduit system are well known. Petra, described by UNESCO as one of the most priceless cultural resources of man's cultural legacy, was hidden from the rest of the world for 2,000 years before being found in 1812 by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt. Burckhardt had to disguise himself as a Persian tourist in order to see the site because it was unsafe for a Christian to venture so far into the region. Petra's architecture contained influences from Greece, Egypt, Mesopotamia, and India, and the city of Nabateans, previously a nomadic tribe, had a population of roughly 30,000 at its peak. Terracotta Warriors China. It is a collection of terracotta sculptures depicting the soldiers of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, who unified all of China in 2021 BC, as the name suggests. The terracotta armor is a type of funerary that was buried with the emperor around 210 to 209 BC, with the intention of defending him in the afterlife. Local farmers in Litong District, Xi'an, Shanxi Province, made the unintentional yet historic discovery of the statues buried in the 3rd century. The men thought they had uncovered bronze bust or an ancient Buddha sculpture, but archaeologists realized it was one of the 8,000 life-size terracotta troops, horses, and chariots built to defend Emperor Qin Shi Huang in the afterlife. Archaeologists have been astounded by the size of the terracotta army, which includes an estimated 8,000 men, 130 chariots with 520 horses, and 150 cavalry horses. The majority of the statues are still buried beneath Qin's mausoleum. The figurines have become a popular tourist attraction. Uluburun shipwreck, Turkey. Mehmet Akir, a sponge diver, was swimming in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Turkey's Uluburun in 1982 when he came face to face with the remnants of a 50-foot-long sunken ship. Although much of the historic wreck's cedar hull had vanished after so many years at sea, Akir discovered several pottery jars as well as hundreds of glass, copper, and tin ingots. The Uluburun wreck was studied for 10 years by underwater archaeologists. They discovered a treasure mine of late Bronze Age relics ranging from elephant tusks and hippopotamus teeth to jewelry and even scarab inscribed with the name of Egyptian Queen Nefertiti. While the ship was verified to be 3,300 years old by dating a piece of firewood, making it one of the oldest wrecks ever discovered, historians are still unsure of its origins. The ship's copper cargo was linked to Cyprus, but archaeologists also discovered Mycenaean, Assyrian, Canaanite, and Egyptian artifacts, leading many to believe it was a commerce vessel with an international crew. Pompeii, Italy. Pompeii was a bustling ancient Rome city near modern-day Naples that was tragically destroyed by Mount Vesuvius' explosion in AD 79. The volcano's lava was so thick that it covered the entire city under 4 to 6 meters of ash. The Oschi people of Campania, Italy, are said to have found the city in the 7th or 6th century BC, and Pompeii had a population of roughly 11,000 people at the time of its collapse. After the eruption, the city's intricate water system, amphitheater, gymnasium, and port were all buried. The city had been hidden for nearly 1,500 years before being rediscovered in 1599, when laborers digging an underground canal uncovered old walls. The project's architect Domenico Fontana seemed unconcerned about the finding and ordered that they be reburied. The Dead Sea Scrolls, Israel. The Dead Sea Scrolls contain some of the Bible's earliest known fragments, but they may have never been discovered if it hadn't been for a group of Arab teens. In 1947, in the ancient city of Jericho, a group of young Bedouin goat herders and shepherds were leading their flock. One of the lads flung a stone into a nearby cave while looking for a lost goat and was startled to hear what sounded like a clay pot smashing. He discovered 6 jars carrying a collection of antique papyrus scrolls as he walked inside the cave to investigate. Tiny shreds of the scroll would later sell for millions, but the Bedouins were oblivious of their value and sold the entire lot to a Bethlehem antiquities dealer for less than $50. Scholars later validated the inscription's significance, prompting a relic hunting frenzy that resulted in the recovery of thousands of more papyrus fragments from adjacent caverns. These items are today regarded as some of the most important archaeological finds of the 20th century. Venus de Milo, Melos. Venus de Milo spent several centuries buried under the Greek islands of Melos before becoming one of the world's most beloved statues. The armless figure was only discovered in 1820, when a peasant named Yorgos Controtos was trying to collect marble building stones from a mound of ancient ruins when he unintentionally discovered its top half. Oliver Voltaire, a French naval commander who happened to be searching for antiquities nearby, was immediately drawn to the find. Voltaire discovered the bottom part of Venus's wrapped legs after bribing Controtos to assist him. Later, he persuaded the French envoy to the Ottoman Empire to buy the statue, which was presented to King Louis XIII and bequeathed to the Louvre in 1821. Art historians have theorized that Venus is supposed to depict the Greek goddess Aphrodite, but they are still unsure what it might have originally held in its missing arms. The Rosetta Stone, Egypt. Napoleon Bonaparte brought a special squad of scientists and historians with him as he launched his fatal Egyptian campaign in the late 18th century. Tasked with collecting antiquities and studying the country's history, this so-called Institute of Egypt came in handy in 1799, when soldiers headed by Pierre-Francois Picard stumbled across a massive basalt slab while deconstructing ancient walls to improve a French fort near Rosetta. The institute promptly dated the stone stone to the 2nd century BC and discovered that it was inscribed with an ancient decree in 3 languages: Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphics. Language experts led by Jean-Francois Champollion and Thomas Young spent the next 20 years deciphering the code of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, which had been lost to history for millennia. The glyph gave academics the resources they needed to launch the first in-depth studies of ancient Egyptian language and literature after they were deciphered. Now that we've discussed a range of secret and historical locations from around the world, it is now time to delve into those 2 secret locations that were discovered by the general population, like the Derinkuyu underground city in Turkey that was discovered by a local Turkish resident of this town, or the 4 French adolescents who were out walking and stumbled upon the Lascaux cave in France. Stay tuned to the video to find out more about these secret locations from around the world. Derinkuyu underground city, Turkey. Hundreds of underground cities have been hand-carved from volcanic ash by their ancient occupants in Turkey's Cappadocia region's rugged topography. Derinkuyu is one of the most elaborate of these underground metropolises, with 18 floors and enough space to host 20,000 people. Surprisingly, the location was only discovered in 1963, when a local resident, while repairing his home, knocked down a wall and discovered a passageway leading to a large network of stone tunnels and chambers. Experts aren't sure who built Derinkuyu or when it was created, but excavations have revealed that it originally had its own meeting halls, stores, freshwater wells, stables, and even hefty stone doors to keep its occupants safe. For nearly 3,000 years, the site was unknown, and it was only discovered in 1963 when a neighboring resident discovered a secret room behind a wall in his home. 6 years later, the property was open to the public. Lascaux Cave, France. 4 French adolescents were walking through the woods near Montignac in September 1940 when their dog began sniffing about a weird hole in the ground. After shimmying down a stone hole, the lads discovered a magnificent underground cavern with over 2,000 old paintings and carvings adorning the walls. The stunned teenagers decided to explore the grotto in secret at first, but they subsequently informed their teacher, who convinced a cave expert to confirm its veracity. The Sistine Chapel of prehistoric art was born as knowledge of the Lascaux Cave's stunning collection of animal pictures and abstract symbols spread across Europe. Historians later dated the cave's murals to be between 15,000 and 17,000 years old, and many believe it was previously the location of Upper Paleolithic religious and hunting activities. There you have it, a range of secret and historical locations people have come across from around the globe. Isn't it just amazing the places people and tourists have stumbled across by accident? If it weren't for those people discovering them, who knows how long they would have stayed a mystery for? Leave us a comment below on which location you believe is the craziest find. We hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.